Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Blessed palette for my eyes, my brows, my lips, my cheeks, highlighter. All of it is coming from this, the Blessed palette. And hopefully after that you guys will look at cosmetics and think, you know, what else can we think out of the box and decide to do differently? Maybe in a way that wasn't intended, but works very well. Let's go on this journey together. I would love to show you how I took the Blessed palette and used it for every single thing on my makeup today. Want to? Let's do it. Probably this won't even surprise some of you because you grew up in the 70s and 80s like me, and even before then. I mean, you learned to multi-purpose what you had. Anyway, so like one day I was in a hurry and I thought, oh, you know what? Everything I need is in here. Right? Now this might not work for you, but the purpose is to show you just because something's called an eyeshadow doesn't mean it has to stay an eyeshadow. If you're my skin tone and you have this palette, you could do this too. So what if you took Pita, like instead of using it as an eyeshadow, which you totally could do, instead of that, you used it like in an unexpected way as a contour. Okay? Because you can. Because it's a cool gray brown. If a cool gray brown works for you as contour, then you can contour with Pita. Just, you know, trying to get you to think about things a little differently. Realize that eyeshadows are more pigmented than other things, so, you know, you may use less of it, but it totally can work. I can use Pita here on my eyes as well. In fact, let's just put Pita all over the eye. Remember when we used to do just one and done eyeshadows? We'll just put Pita all over the place. Just everywhere. On the lid, through the crease, just all over a one and done eyeshadow look. That's really fast and easy, right? But you could use Pita as a base for another eyeshadow. Like maybe you want to put some of these shades together to make other shades, and you can totally do that. You know, this brush needs to be switched out because it's just way too floppy for what I'm doing here. I'm making a mess. But you know what I'm saying? So you could use Pita as a all over. You can use Pita, if you have the right skin tone, you can use Pita as your contour in your brows. Okay, I'll do that in a second. I'll just use Pita in my brows. Or maybe Family. Or it's a matte eyeshadow at the end of the day. If you can use a powder brow product, which are formulated a little bit different. I mean, brow products are formulated a little differently, so, you know. But it's basically a shadow. You can get by in a pinch, or if you just want to hurry, you can get by doing that. So, as you can see, Pita, yes, it is lightly used, can be used like this, or more concentrated. We can use a little bit, maybe the outside here, to bring and play more into that purple, right? Right? I think I will take a little tiny angle brush and come into Pita, and let's just put Pita right here in my brow. I think I can use this eyeshadow palette for every single thing that I do today. Do you? Working on my brows, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Let's take Family on the outer corner and even get darker still. Why not? Because we can. We can do anything we want to. But you see how you can just use one shade on top of another shade, on top of another shade, and just keep changing it up. There might be 15 eyeshadows in this palette, but there are so many more opportunities for things. You can lay Pop Nongi down and then go over it with Pita and come up with a totally different shade. Look, here. There is Pop Nongi, and here is Pita by itself, but here is Pita mixed with Popnongi. You see how that got lighter? And then put Popnongi over the top of it again. And you see how we have just totally transformed that into kind of a grayish shade, which then you could take High School BFF and pop over the top for just a tiny bit of shimmer. And now we have a light sparkly gray. Don't limit yourself. You can do so much more. This is my savior, so I'm just coming up here and kind of lightening that up so it's a seamless blend. There we were in the middle of doing my brows with PETA, weren't we? Okay. So I'm just going to continue what I was doing with this little angle brush. What if I wanted to go on a vacation and just take my foundation and powder and my palette? And I don't need anything else. I can do my entire look with those three things. Now, whether you should or not, that is a different story altogether. I'm not telling you to put your lip products on your eyes or anything like that, but, you know, I'm just trying to get you to think out of the box. We can take my savior and just bring it like in the inner corner and lighten up across the lid here, like so. Brighten that up. I can also take my savior and actually like hit my nose as I powder to powder that spot on my nose. My savior works as a brightening powder for me. So there you go. Look how I just brightened up this inner part of my eye with my savior. I can also flip the brush over if I want to get just a little bit of Be a Blessing and pop up and down just to give a little tiny bit of shimmer. I'm just tapping into Be a Blessing because I don't really want the color so much as I just want the shimmers. Okay, so there we go. And I can use a little angled brush and I can come into Emmy After 60 and it becomes my liner. So I can line my lid with Emmy After 60, which some of you are going to see on the restocked palettes that change because it's supposed to be capital M, capital E after 60 because it's primarily, first and foremost, for my friend, Mary Ellen After 60, but in my excitement, I didn't catch it on the first go-round with the palettes. I didn't catch that it was uppercase M, lowercase e for me, which it still is. I mean, it is a double meaning shade. It is Emmy After 60, Mary Ellen After 60, okay, which we've had this group chat going on for years with a few of us here. Me, Carol, Monica, you know, Melissa. And it was just easier to, instead of typing out Mary Ellen every time, you know, to put just capital M, capital E for Mary Ellen, all right, when we were talking about her, okay? So that's how that started. So the shade is capital M, capital E, Mary Ellen After 60. And also that I have turned more to a charcoal deep gray versus black as I have gotten over 60. Okay, so but the emphasis was supposed to be that it was for Mary Ellen After 60, and that's why whenever you hear me talk about the shade, I always say Emmy After 60 instead of Me After 60. That's why, it's because it's for Mary Ellen. But anyway, I didn't catch it the first time, and so they have corrected that on the palettes that have come out now. That'll be changed. Anyway, so I am just coming, because this brush is so tiny, I can just come right here in my waterline and it becomes eyeliner. See? Mm-hmm. And under my eye, let's use a little bit. Okay, so just take a definer brush and pop a little bit under here. Depending on how I want to do my highlighting, I can use my savior Be a Blessing, or Pop Nongi as a highlight for my face. But before we even think about highlighting, what do we need to do? Bronze and put on blush, right? Okay, well, using my Sonia G, and I think this is the Cheek Pro, right? Look what perfect size this is. I'm going to come into Cinnamon Girl. Because these are eyeshadows, you will need to knock some of this off, okay? Because you're going to be making a mistake if you don't, but I'm just going to bronze up my cheeks here a little bit with Cinnamon Girl. And then I'm going to come into a little bit for my blush. I think I'm going to take a little bit of my Savior and come over down my nose and maybe knock back my contour just a little bit. I like my cheeks and my lips to match, so I'm going to come into a little bit and I'm going to line my mouth. You guys remember when I made the reveal video and I told you there was so much more about this palette that I had to say, but you know, that wasn't the time for it. Okay, this is one of the things. Okay, ombre it up. Or I could fill in my mouth with it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this gloss. This one's from Sydney Grace, and it is a clear one, I think. I got it in the Christmas in July sale. Or I could actually take a little bit on my finger and mix it in. And there we go. Now I just put on some mascara. But oh, did you think I was trying to get away without showing you highlight? Let's do that really quick. Be a Blessing can be a full-on eyeshadow. It can also be used very lightly as a highlight. We can just come into Be a Blessing with the side of the brush if we want, okay? And highlight. Here, let me do that across the bridge of my nose so that you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Be a Blessing is now a highlight. Same thing for Pop Nongi. Let's come in here and get some Pop Nongi. And there you go. Also, before we kick out of here, some of you have been wondering what I got in the Christmas in July sale. And so I wanted to show you that I picked up additionals. These are brand new ones of the palettes I already have. My rationale for that was, for what I paid for this palette, it's worth it for that shade right there. Sunflower. Sunflower, for me, it's ridiculous. I would have paid that much to get just a refill of Sunflower. I also love my Summer Days enough that I have dropped it on the floor a few times, and so it's nice to have a backup of that before it went away. I also refilled my powder because I love the Sydney Grace Cloud powder, so I refilled that. This powder is so light. It is really like a cloud. And I've noticed that they changed. They got these nice fancy caps on there now. So those were just like refills. And then I picked up these. Okay, so what I really wanted was the new blushes. So I got Ballerina and I Choose You blushes. Those were the cream blushes. I've not even opened these yet, okay? So I'll let you know in favorites if I hate them or like them or whatever, but that's the color. That one is I Choose You. And then this one here is Ballerina. Basically, I just wanted the cream products. So, oh, that looks really pretty too. Oh, heck, let's just, oh, that's so creamy. So, Ballerina. Oh, that is going to blend gorgeous. These will probably be coming into the next Fritzyville basket so that I can work them over really good. And I really, really wanted the cream bronzer, but we can't do that because it only comes, you know, they didn't make enough, I guess. And so it only came in a mystery bag, which I didn't want to get a mystery bag. So what I did was I picked up 2 of the brow pomades. Now, I know that the formula is different, but my thinking on this was that I bet I can use, if it's light enough color, oh, yes, I bet I can use this as a bronzer and a contour. And I think I can do that. Now, it's probably going to set differently, I would imagine, but that might be a good thing, right? It might be a good thing, the way, I'll have to let you know on that, like that. And then I guessed medium brown might be what I actually took. I haven't played with a brow pomade in a very long time, so that's maybe that'll work. Let's get this brow brush here. Can I draw little hairs? I'm gonna have to let you know, because like I said, I have not actually tried these things, but I will be soon, and then I'll be letting you know in the favorites video what I think of them. And then these must have been gifts, okay, because I didn't order any shadows because I've not done a inventory and I keep buying shadows I already own. So this one is called Dracula, I guess because of blood. And then this one is a matte. I really like it. Very anxious to try all that stuff. I hope you guys know you're the best part of the Fritzy family. And that if you're not having a blessed day, the way you get one is to go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye. And I'm out.
Where did you go now, sweet child of mine? Where did you go, sweet child? Where did you go now? Da na 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 na. If you can score a palette like that, you just can't beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it. No, my favorite Michael Jackson song is "Smooth Criminal." Dun 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 dun. Yeah. I want to give it. Peter, you idiot! Look, I made a deal with you. If I featured you in the video, that you would not do this. Yeah. And I wanted to get Balleria. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember that time I sang this diarrhea song? I know, I've done that a few times, haven't I? Diarrhea. Diarrhea. I know, I really need to grow up. I'm not going to, though, so that's just the way it is. But you love me just the way I am anyway, right? We love you just the way you are. And yeah, let's give me a hand. Apparently, I think I'm worth the applause, because I live for the applause, 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 I live for the applause. I'm sorry, Lady Gaga.